Now, before the break, we asked Ruby Wax once prepared a crab salad for which former Prime Minister? The answer is David Cameron. Let's just have a watch. Ruby, Claudia Winkelman and Miranda Hart once served a meal for David Cameron as part of a MasterChef special for Comic Relief in 2011. And we've got a clip. Just watch this.
Hello there. Hi. Hi. Hi, Ruby. How are you? I'm going to eat this later. You can't tell. So how long have we got till...
Not long enough.
Well, my expectations were quite low, and they've fallen. To be frank, this may be all I get to eat today.
Hello. Hello. There for you, Dave.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Look. I've eaten a lot. I did, I promise. There's nothing on the floor. I haven't put it in my pockets. I thought it was really nice.
Oh, good. I lost that contest. And he called me.
About the weary. Welcome back to the show with Yasmin and Mike. Now, joining us too, as you may have realised, is comedian and author and public intellectual, and I'm unashamed to say, hero of mine, Ruby Wax. Ruby, in recent years, you've become a mental health campaigner, and you've written a book called I'm Not As Well As I Thought I Was. Comes out in paperback today. Everybody should buy it. I'm also going to give a shout out, because they could buy it at the same time, for your autobiography, How Do You Want Me, which I read a couple of times. When people said you've read your book a couple of times, they're usually, well, telling porky pies, but I really haven't. I've gifted it to everybody. Now, it was a book that was meant to be about your travels, and it started as this one. This is Not As Well As I Thought I Was, exploring various ways that people think about their mental health in a variety of different cultural backgrounds. Off the back of, by the way, I just want to shout this out as well. I mean, not only did you educate yourself, to say the very least, but you've got a degree from Oxford University. You know, you're not one of the sort of celebrities banging on about mindfulness. You've done the intellectual work as well. So there you are on that journey. And then in 2022, things take a bit of a turn south, and this book emerges. What happened?
Well, I after COVID, or during COVID, like you, who suddenly went to the wedding of the delivery guy, I wasn't getting any phone calls. I'm listening. I wasn't getting any calls or whatever, and then I was weaning myself off fame because, you know, it's like any drug. You know, where you go on the tube and go, do you know who I am? And they go, yeah, get in the back of the line. You know. Anyway, nobody was calling and I had nobody to perform for. So I thought, let's go to the next phase of your life. Let's find some meaning. You know, let's find the point of view on Earth. It's not having another TV show. So I chose these places that would maybe derail me from my usual life. So I went 30-day silent retreat. I tried to get people out of Afghanistan. I lived in a Christian monastery. I went swimming with whales to remind myself that I'm a tiny part of nature, tiny, insignificant.
But the Reverend Richard Coles gave you the, as it were, the impetus that led to things that didn't exactly end up happily.
Well, he said he first saw me as a nun in the Royal Shakespeare Company, and he thought I'd end her career as a nun. So he sent me to his monastery. And it was because the whole book was, I wanted to feel faith. I want to know what it's like. If I could just be part of a community that throw their head back and froth and sing to Jesus. And at one point I was pretty close. You know, I want to be embraced.
But in that sense, are you looking for connection?
I look for
this
connection.
is not the first time that you've talked about fame. And I remember listening to you and reading things that you've said about how, you know, you'd go to dinner parties with so-called celebrities, and the barometer of how, you know, good you felt the next day was how many numbers you got in your phone. And that's not in this book, but, you know, you've always spoken about this.
Well, you know, you do a show about celebrity, which eventually wore me thin, is that you think if they approve that you are somebody.
Now, at this, I think you went to this retreat, you had a bout of depression, which you described with such sort of eloquence. People talk about being depressed, but the type of depression you're talking about, crushing, I mean, debilitating. And then you had this extraordinary therapy which you described. Can you help me understand it?
All right, so I don't think, let me say, going from these remarkable journeys, which I tried to write in a kind of Bill Bryson homage.
They're very funny as well as everything else.
Well, 30-day silent retreat, you're going to...
How did you get on with that? I can't imagine.
I was on the dishwashing team, and I had to be quiet, and I hated the woman next to me. I hated her. I wanted to show her that I could get the forks in the right, and she'd take the forks. We had a horrible relationship, and she wanted to show me how evolved she was, so she'd wash the dishes really slowly, and I went even slower to show her that, you know, I was enlightened too.
Right, so it's an exercise in passive aggression.
Yes, it is, and no touching of the animals, and no telephone.
But that was a moment in 2022 where, again, it seemingly in your other work felt like you were coming into, let's say, a clear horizon of good mental health, and things went downhill. And you had a number of different therapies. One, I think...
Well, let me just say, all of these things worked. I did find I wasn't enlightened, but I thought for a minute, call Eckhart Tolle, I'm in the present.
Yeah.
Each journey taught me something. In the Wizard of Oz kind of way.
Right.
I did get the heart, I did get the brains, I did get the faith. But then something was very wrong with me, which I wasn't aware of, which was underneath it, depression lurks. I hadn't had it for 12 years. Oh. And it comes up accidentally. It made the book much better. I'm not saying that's why I got it.
But it's as it were, an understanding and a journey into the neurology of it.
Yeah.
And what I'm getting to is you had this magnetic therapy, which I thought was fascinating.
One thing they tried on me, which is a new kind of therapy, is RTMS, which is repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulation.
Right.
Is there a picture?
There isn't one, but it looks, I think, not dissimilar from sitting under one of those old hair dryers that my grandma used to sit under.
It bang, 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 bangs your head like Woody Woodpecker's gone insane. But it's not Dr. Frankenstein's electric. It's magnets, so you don't have side effects.
Now, one of the good things that you do, I say good, it's more than that. It's kind of hard to categorize you nowadays. I mean, I think a lot of what you do isn't just sort of enabling or empowering people. You exist in this space, it's not just about wellness, it's about sort of enabling people to understand more about their mental health, emotionally and physically, all of the biology behind it. And that's part of a bit, and I think you should be embarrassed about this, being a bit of a amusing public intellectual. And I think you're going back on tour and talking about your experiences in a psychiatric hospital, aren't you?
I'm giving people a journey as to what successful therapy looks like. I was taken by surprise because when I entered, they said, you have trauma. I said, trauma's an Oprah word, don't give me that. But an exquisite piece of machinery. And I'm getting,
I'm getting people saying we've got to hurry up, which is a pity because I can listen to you all day.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
There are so many celebrities who talk about their problems, but what you did with your life, I don't think anybody else has ever done. The total honesty.
Oh, thank you.
Total honesty. I had a very severely mentally ill sister who died of COVID. And I know that you were the first to really expose yourself. Like you slashed open your head, your heart. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
That's the way I feel about it. I have to say, I remember you saying that the book that you would choose would be Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann because you wanted to be up there with all of the ill people looking out in the world. And I think that sense of understanding is why this book is so great. Now, amongst other things, I know that this is your past, but it's topical now. And, I came in here this morning and Yasmin won't, I sure, be upset remembering these interviews and just what you grab, being as vulnerable as you are, you, I think, are able to extract things from people that they otherwise wouldn't, frankly, reveal to you. You interviewed a ton of famous celebrities for your BBC series in the 90s, and you were one of the first people to grill Donald Trump on about his desire to be president. Just see this.
Oh, no. Like you have a plane, you have like this great life that anybody would want to have. Why would you want to run for president?
I love the United States, and to be honest, if I didn't think I could do a really good job, I wouldn't do it. I mean, I'm tired of being ripped off as a country.
So you adore women now?
I do adore women. I respect women, I adore women, and I go out with women, and I do it with respect.
Sure. In the White House, how are you going to date?
We're taking off. We have to take off.
Okay. Oh, do you have to go in the front?
I'm going to just go upstairs. Relax for a second.
Oh,
just
please,
take it easy.
I want to sit in the cockpit too.
Let her take up the mic. Excuse me. That's enough. I have a headache.
Do you hate me?
No, I think you're fine, but it's enough.
Yeah, you are. Ruby was there first. Ruby, look, stay with us as we race through more of today's stories.